Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today, I want to open the show with a discussion with the maternal grandson of former President Shehu Shagari, Mr. Nuruddin Mohammed Maye, who himself is a notable public servant, a politician, and actually an APC stalwart from Sokoto State. I'd like to welcome to Inside Sources, Mr. Nuruddin Maye.
It's my pleasure to be here, sir.
Welcome to Inside Sources.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Let's start from your letter, public statement that you had done on the burial of the former President Muhammadu Buhari, where you were commending President Tinubu for ensuring that the former president got a very outstanding, state burial. I wanted to ask you, why did you make that statement and the claims that you make there?
So actually, what triggered my reaction on social media regarding the death of our late President Muhammadu Buhari and the commitment, devotion, and responsibility that was put by our able President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reminds me of what happened during the demise of my late grandfather, Shehu Shagari.
That was in
2018.
2018, right?
Yeah. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has exemplifies humility, patriotism, and sense of responsibility for organizing a befitting burial for the late President Muhammadu Buhari. You see, when the news of the demise of late President reached him, he quickly dispatched his deputy, the Vice President Kashim Shettima, to London to convey the body to Nigeria.
Yeah.
So what inspired us a lot was that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was on ground to receive the body in Katsina State. And also, he conveyed the remains of late President Muhammadu Buhari to Daura, where he was present, and in fact, he was there at the scene of the burial, which is very, very strange to us. So the kind of commitment and responsibility he has exhibited during that moment of grief was really very commendable, because he stopped all the government activities. All the ministers, members of the cabinet, the governors, everybody was there in Daura to accompany him, to pay their last respect to the late former president. So that was really very, very commendable act from the president. He have shown that he honored duty with responsibility. So that was what reminds me of the pain that we have gone through during the demise of our late grandfather. You know, late President Shehu Shagari has served this country meritoriously with utmost humility and sincerity. Since from pre-independence, independence, and post-independent periods, So a man like him who struggled for the freedom of this country, he didn't deserve such treatment, although he may not like it, because he don't like any fancy life, he don't like any things of show up, but he deserved to be honored and respected. So what happened during that day, he passed away on the 28th of December 2018 in the National Hospital. By around,
here in Abuja.
Here in Abuja, around 5 p.m. So immediately his family contacted Mr. President that Shehu Shagari has passed away. So he was the one that fixed 1 p.m. the following day for the burial arrangement.
Who fixed 1 p.m.?
Mr. President then. Late President Muhammadu Buhari. He picked 1 p.m. for the burial arrangement. So his body was conveyed in Sokoto around 10 a.m. So we have waited for Mr. President to arrive, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it due to some reasons best known to him. He sent a delegation under the leadership of the then SG of Mr. Boss Mustafa, along some others.
Right.
So after 2 days, he arrived. on Sunday, the 30th of December 2018.
So that's the former president.
Exactly.
Arrived to meet
the family.
2 days after the burial.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he was received by the then governor and in company of the 2 other governors from Kebbi and Zamfara State, along with the leader of the APC in Sokoto State, distinguished Senator Ali Magataka Dwamako, and the present governor now, Mr. Ahmed Ali Sokoto. So upon arrival, they were received by Professor Shehu Galadanchi, who was part of the family. And when he arrived, he was asked to meet the wives and the children of His Excellency, late President Shehu Shagari. So when he met them, he just sat down, and said, Sanunku, meaning, how are you? So we expect him to at least say something that will ease our grief, So he didn't say anything. With due respect to late President Muhammad Buhari, we never expect him to do such a thing for us. And after that, he was accompanied by Governor Tombol, and he was reminded to sign the condolence register. But all what he was able to do is to sign his signature and the date. So after there, he gave the governor his condolence letter. He didn't write any tribute, any prayer.
Okay, but he brought a condolence letter.
Exactly.
Which he signed.
He brought a condolence letter which he signed and read by Governor Tambon. Okay. So in that letter, he promised to immortalize late Alhaji Shehu Shagari by naming a national monument after his name. But I am telling you, we were not happy. All of us, in fact, even everybody wasn't happy. We even gave him the benefit of doubt.
Sorry, was there a monument named after him as he promised?
No. Up till now, there is nothing that...
But the promise was written in the letter.
Exactly.
That Governor Tambuwa read.
Exactly, yes.
That President Buhari signed.
Exactly.
Okay, but there has been no monument
exactly.
named after
Efforts has been made to reach out to them to fulfill their promise, but it was proven abortive.
Okay, please continue.
So that was what triggered my reaction during that the situation. So after then, I also made mention of how President Shehu Shagari, his relationship with the late president, he has forgiven him for a very long time.
Yeah.
And we even happen to be among the supporters of late President Muhammad Buhari, because my uncle Aminu Shehu Shagari contested under the platform of APC in 2015 and eventually won the election
as the
member representing Yabo Shagari constituency
in the Federal House of Representatives.
Exactly, yes. And I myself happen to be the coordinator of We Believe campaign organization and a member of several youth organizations supporting Mr. Muhammad Buhari.
So what efforts, has the family been making to ensure that the promise to immortalize President Shagari is fulfilled?
So actually, there are several efforts made to reach the SGF, the then SGF, Mr. Boss Mustafa, or to contact...
Who represented the president
exactly.
Before the president himself came.
Exactly, but all the efforts made was, wasn't enough to reach them. And as I'm talking to you now, his house in Shagari, the family is even trying to hand it over to the federal government as a monument,
Right.
So even now there are ongoing talks between the family and the Ministry of Culture and Tourism to hand over the house so that it will even serve as a monument from his own on side.
Right.
And I don't think the issue is going as it is.
Well, you know, I think it's good that you have spoken out, you know, so that we can also join our voices to say that to the extent that the former president made a promise to immortalize President Shagari, who was a democratically elected president, and like you said, who served this country before independence, after independence, and ultimately became the president in 1979. If the promise had been made, you know, which is the right thing to do, yes. I think the promise ought to be fulfilled. Exactly. And it's now up to the current president to ensure that it's a good thing that you spoke up.
Yeah.
But let's also talk about his legacy, you know, because I just started a series where I wanted to be talking to some of the children of people who could be said to be heroes.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you think ought to be some of the things that we should remember former President Shagari by?
So, you know, Shagari's presidency was interrupted by the military intervention in 1983. Actually, you know, before you hang a dog, you must give it a name in order to justify your actions. Yeah. So, you know, the military junta of General Muhammadu Buhari accused President Shagari's government of so many things. You know, they said it was corrupt. There is embezzlement of public funds. There was self-aggrandizement, bankruptcy, and what have you. So to set the facts straight, President Shagari faced a global economic recession, you know, and the struggle to ensure that austerity measures were put in place so that the economy will be stable and things will return to shape. But all those efforts wasn't, you know, the fruition was not achieved. So that was why they said they toppled the government. But President Shagari has performed tremendously well in various sectors of human endeavor. Let us talk about housing. He was the one that even established the Ministry of Housing Development, where he was able to build 200 housing units across the federation. Each state was benefited to have 200 housing units during that time. And also, he was able to establish Ministry of Steel Development, where they constructed a Jakarta Steel Company and rolling mills across the geopolitical zones. And he was also able to establish Ministry of Information, you know, so in order to make sure that government-owned media is function effectively. And he was also able to establish Ministry of Police Affairs. So you see, in order to ensure that security and the lives and properties of Nigerians are well secured. And he was also able to establish a Ministry of Water Resources, where he constructed a number of dams across Nigeria. Bakalori Dam in Sokoto State, Kafinzaki Dam in Borno, Dadinkuwa Dam in Bauchi, and many other parts of Nigeria. Dams were established. And he was also able to build critical infrastructure in Abuja. You know, the federal government want to shift from Lagos to Abuja. So he was able to put in place a lot of infrastructure then by building the Abuja House, Osman Dam and Jabi Dam, you know, and some housing infrastructure and electricity grids. So he made a very commendable effort in making sure that Abuja is what it is. And he also introduced 63-4 system of education in Nigeria and also championed the cause of National Open University. That is why we said he should be remembered for making sure that disadvantaged Nigerians are carried along in terms of education. So there are lots and lots of legacies that Shehu Shagari left while in office. And you know, while talking about his concrete legacies, he also left behind a legacy of honesty, integrity, patriotism, and selfless service to humanity, which we, the family, are very, very proud of.
By the way, you know, it's good that you recall some of his infrastructural achievements. But I must also say that in terms of his integrity and patriotism, I remember that even though he contested with Chief Obafemi Awolowo for the presidency, he gave Chief Obafemi Awolowo the GC. I don't know whether you know that. He gave him the GCFR, even though they were political opponent. That was an act of personal integrity and patriotism, which we should remember.
Exactly. I even want to talk about that. You know, Shehu Shagari has contested a very, very difficult election because the likes of Obafemi Awolowo, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, the likes of Waziri Ibrahim, the likes of Aminu Kano, you know, they are far above him in terms of influence, in terms of wealth, in terms of popularity, in terms of, you know, media. Nevertheless, he was able to won the election. So you see, in the history of Nigeria, Shehu Shagari has contested a very, very difficult election. So what, to my own perspective, made him successful was his faith in God, his trustworthiness, his patriotism, and he never wished anybody ill.
Did you ever have any interaction with him that he discussed, you know, his arrest? Because he was arrested December 31st and he was detained. Did you have any recollection of how he took that?
Well, he lost so many things, more especially his documents, his government documents that are very, very important to him. And also his some of his belongings, you know, which he lost in that house. And also the kind of relationship he had with most of his cabinet members and Ekwime family, you know, whom he took with regard. So that memory itself was very, very memorable to him. And when he retired in partisan politics, he dedicated his time in the pursuit of noble and humanitarian causes, because he divided his time. He spent 1 week in Sokoto and 1 week in Shagari, so that he look after his farm and also the local people. So, you know, he happened to be a member of Sultanate Council because he was conferred with the title of traditional title of Turakin Sokoto since in 1962. In recognition of his selfless service and also his efforts towards development of education in Sokoto province. So Sultan Abubakar III found him worthy to be conferred with the traditional title of Turakin Sokoto. So he actually spent his time in receiving people, you know, from all walks of life, where he shared his experience and his personal life and what have you. So he was very, very honorable, very, very patriotic.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Nuruddin Mohammed Mahi, maternal grandson of former President Shehu Shagari. Thank you for coming to Inside Sources. And I remember also that when your father was president, we had a fair conduct of party politics, where the party was actually, you know, supreme.
Yeah.
You know, Unlike these days when it is whatever the governor thinks, it's whatever the president thinks. When Shagari was the president, the party was supreme, the party was the platform, and that's one of the things that we remember him by. Thank you for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for public services in Sokoto State. Thank you for your role as a stalwart of APC and your contribution to national development. I look forward to you doing greater things also in this country.
It was really a great honor to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.